If you'd like to see more of our videos, hit the subscribe button to stay on top of the market news. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today's September 3rd, 2020. And today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the Nasdaq continues to surge higher. It's trading off a little bit from its all-time highs, but it continues to trade higher. Microsoft also, so the markets are still headed upwards. But how long? That's the question. Let's take a look at the economic events of the day. So once again, we have one event coming out later today out of the United States. It's an ISM, and this is a non-manufacturing PMI number coming out. Now, this is a very important number. It's pretty much a services sector number that's coming out. So eyes are going to be in it because the markets today are all run by this sector of services. Okay, so really important number. Now, tomorrow we do have a major non-farm payroll number coming out. It will reflect the month of August as everybody goes back to work after Monday, which is a national holiday in the United States. So just be aware that the markets in the U.S. will be closed on Monday. Now, looking at the different categories, we're looking at the Forex symbols actually retrace. The euro, the British pound, all make retracements as we anticipated, as we spoke about yesterday. It did look like it was capitulating and losing some of its momentum. And looking at the indices, the Nasdaq trades higher, all-time new record highs. We say it once again. We've been saying it for the past 3 months. Okay, since June, we've been breaking out higher in the Nasdaq, just FYI. And looking at the Dow Jones, catching up to above 29,000. Now, this is the first time we're trading above 29,000 in the Dow Jones since the pandemic. Okay, so this brings us back to February 20th, okay, right before the pandemic actually hit mainstream. Now, looking at the commodities, gold pairs its gains and sells off, oil selling off sharply, about $2 in pairing its gains there as well. Now, looking at the stocks, Apple falters on to make newer highs, but everything else is surging higher. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're starting here with the Euro USD at a 4-hour chart. You could see this nice slide from 1979 earlier in the week. Okay, we had about 1950 yesterday and just couldn't sustain it. We broke our first support level, 1883. Once we did that, we sold off sharply. Okay, another 70 pips down to 1800. Okay, now we're at that point, all right, where this gets kind of choppy around this area. So I do expect a support-ish area in the next 20 to 30 pips around here. Now, altogether, this is a retracement of about 200 pips, okay, from the top of 1.2 to 1.8. So a decent retracement for the Euro USD. I mean, we've gone up from 106, okay, up to, from March up to 120. That's 1,400 pips in a matter of about 6 months. That's a lot. Okay, we haven't done 1,400 pips in the past 5-6 years in the Euro USD. So let's take it all into consideration. Now, looking at the GBP USD as well, we did falter at that resistance-ish area. Now, this resistance stuff is really important. This is why we draw charts. And this is why, we put in the time and effort to really develop the trade as it's coming along and as it's developing. So nice little retracement. I do expect it to retrace down to 130-ish level. Let's just see if it plays catch up with the Euro USD because it looks like the Euro is actually heading and spearing that way. Aussie Dollar also retraced down to 73.77. Now, the Aussie Dollar has had a really nice run. The next real resistance-ish level, okay, previous resistance, subsequent support is right here at this 72.51-ish area. Okay, so that would be my next support area if it does continue to sell off. Now, looking at the USD ZAR, okay, turning into a little bit of a wedge formation here. Okay, as it's consolidating in this 1684, I do expect it to make an extreme move in one direction or another as it does making this extreme wedge formation. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that, but let's just draw it for you. Okay, this would be the wedge formation that I'm talking about, and usually in these type of scenarios we have a moving direction, okay, a directional move in one extreme way. Okay, so just be aware that will happen with these type of moves. Now, jumping into commodities. Now, this is gold. All right, gold is trading at 1933. We are retracing nicely, okay, from our 1992-ish high. Now, what's important here is that we're faltering here. We're developing a new trading range, okay? The upper limit is somewhere in this 19 to 2000-ish level. Let's just call it like that for now, okay, because it's not a clear indication where this exact line should be, somewhere around this 19, or let's call it 2000, okay, just for a round up number. Now we're trading in 1932. We do have support at 1922, so just be aware of that, okay. We may see some choppiness and some consolidation in the next 10 points as we sell off. Now looking at oil, this is a nosedive that we had yesterday, 43 down to 41, a $2 drop in the price of oil, mostly because of lack of luster of demand for oil. OPEC is still, producing oil to sustain some of its jobs, but oil has gotten hit really hard. I do expect in the next 3 to 4 months for oil to pick up as we go into the winter months, and also as we go into a little bit better environment where it comes to handling this pandemic in terms of travel and in terms of shipments around the world. So just be aware that that's my call there. Looking at Nasdaq, okay, this is it, 12,377. Now this has started to break out back in June. We mentioned this, okay, and once it broke out that 10,000 level, just 2,300 points since June. Okay, so we're averaging about 1,000 points a month. Okay, if we look at that. Now, if we look at the Dow Jones, last month, okay, this is a weekly chart. Let's look at a 4-hour chart. Last month, we did about 2,000 points, okay? Now, we're at 29,062. If we look at a weekly chart, just to give us perspective, our all-time highs was this 29,500-ish level, okay? So that was our all-time highs. We're right just smack below it, about 500 points. I mean, look at how much we've come back from, okay, over this period of time since this has happened to us, okay? So amazing comeback for the price of the Dow Jones. Okay, now how much further are we going to go up? That's the great question, okay? So we're going to hit September. I do think we'll hit some rough patches as we're going into the election year. Lack of direction there. But my key stock to look at right now is Microsoft. Microsoft making all-time new highs yesterday to 231. Okay, now I've mentioned this several times. It has been sustaining itself when the market sold off, didn't sell off so much. And I mentioned that if you look at a few daily reviews back, you'll see that as well. Now, Amazon also sustaining itself to its all-time highs, now making $3,525, still in an upwards momentum. Looking at the old stock, the JP Morgan, also trading above that $100, also looking like it's making a little bit of a wedge formation as it's making this upwards trend line, okay, right there. You could see that, okay, and then this challenging this area like that, okay. We are making a upwards wedge formation, so if it does break above this 103, it could definitely go up to 108. So something to consider as we go into the latter part of the week and into the NFP report tomorrow. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.